you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
The reason we had Rachel Zegler on the docket is she's an asshole. So she came out and took a large dump. Every time she speaks, she gets less likable. There's some clip of her on the internet in her Snow White outfit saying, "Every hour I am in the outfit of Snow White wearing the dress. All 18 hours, I deserve to be paid for every single one." Oh, really? Are you having trouble paying your bills, Rachel? Did Steven Spielberg not pay you for your role in West Side Story? Did Disney fail to give you a healthy paycheck for, like, cry me a river?
There is a moment in every Hollywood career when the phone stops ringing. For Rachel Zegler, that moment may have arrived earlier than anyone predicted. 2 years ago, she was Spielberg's discovery, the fresh face of West Side Story. Critics adored her. Cameras followed her. Every door in Hollywood seemed to swing open at her approach. But those very same doors are getting slammed in her face. Rumors are circulating that Rachel Zegler might be on the verge of homelessness. The whispers say casting directors have gone quiet. All those projects she had quickly evaporated. Now Rachel is reportedly struggling to keep a roof over her head. How does that happen? How does a star burn so bright, then flicker out before the world even gets to know her? The answer, as it often is in Hollywood, is complicated. A series of public missteps, box office disappointments, statements that played well in echo chambers but disastrously in the rooms where careers are actually made. Tonight, join me as we ask a question that haunts every actor who ever tasted fame. What happens when the industry that built you up decides just as quickly to let you fall?
But it's hard. And it's lonely. It's very lonely. I just know that if that loneliness can exist, so can other things, and I will be okay.
It's honestly a bit difficult to understand how Rachel Zegler went from Spielberg's discovery to Hollywood's cautionary tale. Because not so long ago, Rachel was the Hollywood it girl, the person who was supposed to be the face of Hollywood for the coming decades. Born in 2001 to a Colombian mother and Polish father, Rachel grew up in a household where the American dream was not a cliche, it was the goal. She threw herself into local theater, spending her teenage years on stages no one outside her town would ever see. But Rachel understood something that most small town dreamers don't. Talent is not enough. You have to be seen. So she went to YouTube. High quality covers of movie songs, carefully produced, strategically posted.
Rachel! Rachel!
She wasn't just singing, she was auditioning for a world that hadn't noticed her yet.
Aw, look at that.
In 2018, the world noticed. Steven Spielberg was casting West Side Story. The role of Maria, one of the most iconic in musical theater history, required someone who could sing, act, and embody a character beloved for generations. Over 30,000 young women submitted tapes. Rachel's tape landed on the right desk at the right moment. She didn't just get the part, she became Spielberg's discovery. The director who defined modern cinema had chosen her. At 17 years old, she went from a bedroom in New Jersey to a sound stage where legends were made.
Maria!
The film was beautiful. Critics adored it, but audiences stayed home. West Side Story became one of those strange Hollywood anomalies, a critically acclaimed masterpiece that nobody actually watched. It was a box office disappointment, but this was not Rachel's fault. In fact, it wasn't anyone's fault, really. It was just one of those things that doesn't quite work out. But in Hollywood, momentum is everything. And when the momentum of a Spielberg film fails to launch, the industry notices. Despite the box office, Rachel's future still seemed limitless. She had Spielberg's endorsement, she had talent, she had the kind of ace that cameras love. What she didn't have yet was the one thing Hollywood demands above all else, the ability to navigate the minefield of public perception. That lesson was coming, and it would arrive not in a boardroom, but in a series of statements, posts, and interviews that would slowly, methodically turn the industry against her, because talent gets you in the door. But keeping the door open, that requires something else entirely. Rachel Zegler Zegler was about to learn what that something was the hard way.
West Side Story star Rachel Zegler says she's not invited to the Oscars this year, despite her film being nominated for Best Picture. On Sunday, the 20-year-old actress posted a series of recent images on her personal Instagram account. In the comments section, a user wrote, "Can't wait to see what you'll be wearing on Oscar night." Zegler responded, "I'm not invited, so sweatpants and my boyfriend's flannel."
You see, there is an unwritten rule in Hollywood that every aspiring star learns. The industry watches how you handle disappointment, and it never forgets. For Rachel Zegler, the lesson arrived at the 94th Academy Awards. West Side Story was nominated for Best Picture. Rachel was the face of the film, and yet, when the initial guest list was released, her name was nowhere to be found. Now, as shocking as that sounds, this actually happens a lot. You see, guest lists for such huge events are complicated and seats are limited. The oversight could have been handled quietly, professionally, through her agent and the Academy's team. But Rachel, well, she chose a different path. She went to social media to publicly and openly express her disappointment in a way that left the Academy with only one graceful exit. Invite her, give her a role, make it right.
Thought we weren't, so I went a little rogue.
Okay.
We were.
Oh, now you know. All right.
Okay.
So Rachel Zegler, she's the star of West Side Story. She mentioned on social media that the Oscars are obviously this weekend, and she said she never got an invite.
Yes. And she responded actually to a fan who wrote on social media. She said, you know, what are you going to wear? And she wrote so that everybody could see, right? Because the internet's a place where people can see things. I'm not invited. So sweatpants and my boyfriend's flannel. I don't know, y'all. I've tried, but it doesn't seem to be happening.
So everyone went crazy on social, as you can imagine. And the Academy responded yesterday. Rachel not only got an invitation to watch the Oscars, she's actually going to be a presenter.
Okay, all along this should have happened, in my opinion, because I think she's a star.
Of course.
And I'm planning to watch that movie with the kids this weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. And I wonder, she hasn't accepted yet, so we don't know if she's actually going to come. You know when you get dissed from something, and they're like, okay, you can come, and you're like, I don't know if I want to
Yeah,
come now.
exactly.
Now, to her fans, calling out the Academy publicly was a show of assertiveness. She was standing up to the machine. But to industry insiders, it was something else entirely. A public shaming of the very people who control the doors she needed to walk through. The Academy capitulated, because not only did she get she also got a presenting role. On the surface, she won. But in Hollywood, public wins can be private losses. And the people who felt manipulated that day did not forget. Then came Shazam! Fury of the Gods, a supporting role in a superhero sequel, the kind of bridge job actors take to stay visible while waiting for the projects that actually matter. During the press tour, Rachel was asked why she took the role. A standard question with a standard answer, "I loved the script," or "I've always been a fan of the genre." Instead, she told the truth. "I took it because I needed a job during the pandemic." It was honest, it was relatable, and it was professionally devastating.
What made you want to step into this world of DC heroes? I needed a job. I'm being so serious. I mean, a lot of people keep asking me. Hi, Adam. My agent's over there. Hi, Ken. My lawyer. My entire family is here. Hi, everybody. Sorry. No, I mean, the reality was we were in the middle of a pandemic and I was not working and I couldn't get a job for the life of me because West Side Story hadn't come out yet, and it was really hard to book work for me.
You see, when you are the face of a film, you are not just representing yourself, you are representing everyone who worked on it, the crew, the studio, the other actors. To admit, even truthfully, that the project was simply a paycheck is to diminish the work of hundreds of people who gave it their all. The film's box office failure didn't help. Another commercial disappointment, another project that didn't land with audiences, another data point for studio executives building a case against her bankability. So barely 2 movies into her career, Rachel Zegler already had a public confrontation with the Academy that won the battle but lost the war. She got a superhero movie where she openly admitted it was just another job to her. 2 consecutive box office failures because, surprise, surprise, Shazam 2 also flopped at the box office. Now, in Hollywood, these are not isolated incidents. They are evidence. Evidence that an actor is difficult to manage. Evidence that they don't understand the game. Evidence that investing millions in them might be a risk no executive wants to take. But Rachel was still new, so they gave her some cautious grace. Because of that grace, Rachel landed a role that should have defined a career. But instead, it became the moment it all unraveled. For Rachel Zegler, that role was Snow White. In 2021, Disney made Rachel the face of a new generation. The live-action Snow White was not just a movie, it was a statement. Rachel was going to be a princess for modern times. Everything seemed aligned for her coronation as Hollywood's next A-lister. Then Rachel started talking.
I know that you've told me before that your version of Snow White is different and it's more of a 2022 version of Snow White. What did you mean by that?
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
In interview after interview, she didn't just promote the film, she dismantled the original. The 1937 classic, she said, was outdated and sexist. The prince was a stalker, and the new Snow White, she emphasized, wouldn't be bothered with true love. She'd be too busy becoming a leader. To some, this was progress. To millions who grew up loving the original, it was something else: arrogance.
People are upset with Rachel Zegler because of the way she moves her mouth. So Rachel Zegler, the girl who plays Snow White, is doing a lot of interviews right now, and people are going out of their way to find every minute detail they can to lay into this girl. She just did an interview with Allure, and almost every comment is about people not liking the way that her mouth moves.
To many fans, a young actress was handed the role of a lifetime, and she started using that platform to insult the very foundation that made the role matter. Disney saw the backlash and did what Disney does. They delayed the film a full year, and they sent Rachel on what insiders called a carefully managed apology tour, soften the edges to show humility so they could save the project. Now, for a moment, it seemed to work. Her performance in the Hunger Games prequel earned quiet praise. Maybe, just maybe, she'd course corrected. Then the first Snow White trailer dropped in August 2024, and it became one of the most disliked videos in YouTube history. The comments were brutal, and the memes were merciless. And Rachel, instead of stepping back, stepped directly into another fire. She began posting about the Israel-Palestine conflict, a complex geopolitical issue with decades of history, posted about in real time by a young actress who had already proven she struggled with public perception. Disney panicked. Producer Mark Platt personally appealed to her to stop and ask her to step back and to let the professionals handle it. But Rachel refused, and in that refusal, she cemented her status in an industry term that no actor wants attached to their name: toxic asset. A toxic asset is someone whose talent is undeniable, but whose presence on a project causes more harm than good. Studios stop calling. Casting directors become wary. The math simply doesn't work. Why invest millions in someone who might alienate your audience before the first trailer drops? So Rachel returned to where she started. The West End production of Evita should have been a triumphant homecoming, a chance to remind the world why she mattered. But reports indicate lackluster ticket sales. Audiences, it seems, had not forgiven Rachel. The public's patience, once exhausted, does not easily regenerate. Rachel Zegler's story is something more ordinary and more tragic. A young woman handed everything who believed that talent alone was enough to keep it. She learned too late that Hollywood runs on relationships, on gratitude, on understanding that the people who buy tickets are not obligated to love you, they have to be invited to. Her invitations, one by one, have stopped arriving. The question now is not whether Rachel Zegler can act. We know she can. The question is whether, after burning so many bridges, she will ever find her way back into Hollywood. Till next time, bye.